everyone. How are you? Welcome to another episode of Creators Inspire series. This is your host, Terry Shaw. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today, we will be talking about slaying societal stigmas with Shana Singleton. She's a plant-based chef. Hi, Shana. She just joined. She's a plant-based chef and also self-love coach and a herpes advocate. So it's a very powerful topic today. And it's something that we need to stay informed about, the different type of herpes that's out there. So Shana will join the live. I think she just sent a request, and then we'll just start to discuss. Let's just wait for Shana. Okay, we're just waiting.
Hi, Queen.
Oh, look at this goddess. Oh, you're so gorgeous. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I love the setup. I just love it.
Thank you. It's there too nice. I did it myself.
Really? It
Yes.
looks awesome.
Thank you. How have you been?
I've been good. No complaints here. Just being in gratitude and just, moving along, flowing along with life. And that's what we can do at this time.
Yes.
And what about yourself?
I've been well. Ending a chapter. My birthday is this month, so Scorpio
Oh,
season is approaching.
you're a
But
Scorpio?
yes, I'm a
Oh,
Scorpio.
oh, no wonder you get along. So I'm a Pisces, so the water signs.
Oh
We get
yes,
along
there we
so
go.
well.
There we go. Yeah, so I'm just ending a chapter of my life and living in the now. I'm
Mm.
practicing living in the now. So,
Hi, Martha. Sorry, Martha just joined. Hi, Martha.
Namaste,
How are
what's
you?
up? Hi, Masa.
So you're starting a new chapter, and how is that going for you? Like, I know starting new chapters can be difficult, but at the same time, so such a blessing.
I'm ready for the growth. I'm ready for the
Mhm.
lessons that I need to receive, and I'm
Mhm.
ready to move forward. So I'm excited about this next chapter in life.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
Hello, Twiggy Smalls. Twiggy Smalls just joined.
Hey.
So, okay, so just to start off the show, and I'm sure you've seen the lives before. It's kind of a flow through with questions and whatnot. But before we always go in, I just want you to, share with the audience a little bit about yourself and what started you on this, journey.
My name is Shana Singleton, self love
Yeah.
coach, herpes advocate, plant based chef, um, United States Army veteran.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes. um, my personal spiritual journey started in 2017,
Mm,
almost 4 years
mm,
ago, going 3 years
mm,
ago.
mm,
And it started when I made a decision to go towards my passion. I
mm,
was a police officer. I did protective service. I was on my way to law school, and I decided to just throw away that whole entire resume and all my
mm,
accomplishments to do something that I loved, to do something that fed me, which was cooking. And
mm.
it was my passion that brought me to my purpose. And my purpose is to uplift spirits, even when I'm not around, to inspire people to love themselves more.
Great. I mean, I didn't know you've done so much. Oh my goodness.
Busy.
That's pretty awesome. That's
Thank
really good.
you.
You mentioned about your passion leading to your purpose, and I also started my spiritual journey in 2017 when I did follow my
Wow.
passion, and it led to also my purpose in 2017. So that resonated a lot when you said that.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned about your passion and whatnot, and then it brought you to a journey of cooking. Now, what got you into cooking itself? Was there sometimes people go into the whole health phase because it could be a change in perspective about how
Mm-hmm.
you eat. And it also could be, sometimes, a condition like, you're tired and whatnot, or you may have been diagnosed with a medical condition. Anything kind of like helped to make that switch to your purpose?
So I've been cooking my entire life. I've always
Okay.
loved to cook. Everyone in my family have a different favorite dish for
Mm-hmm.
me from me, and I just love making people feel good through
Mm-hmm.
food.
Mm-hmm.
As I was cooking, I got to this space where I was no longer happy anymore
Okay.
with what I was cooking, and
Mm-hmm.
I was consciously making the decision to go plant based. I wanted to try an alkaline vegan diet just because I wanted to try the Dr. Sebi's method for curing herpes, but I
Okay.
haven't gotten that. So that was my jump start into a plant based lifestyle. I spent a year still eating meat and just
Mm-hmm.
diving into the plant based lifestyle, learning more about the foods, learning how to create more dishes for myself so that when I was ready to let go of meat, it was an easy transition.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm still in the transitioning process. I'm not eating meat anymore, but I'm
Okay.
still dairy every now and then, and I want to get rid of that as well. So it's
Okay.
that's how my journey into the plant-based cuisine started.
It's perfectly fine. I started out also with eating meat a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
from the Caribbean, we love our oxtails and our pork and everything. But then after I started getting sick, my body started declining. I got rid of, meat. And it's funny because you said something about, it's a transition
Yes.
because not the full transition takes time. And you have to be very careful because not everybody's body can withstand a vegan diet. And
Yes.
I've learned that the hard way when I actually fully transitioned to the vegan diet. And what happened was that like everything started declining, and because I didn't do it properly, I
Okay.
got rid of everything and wasn't getting enough protein and iron. Iron is so important. And you
Yes.
mentioned Dr. Sebi. Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Sebi likes to emphasize on iron. It's not protein that we really need, but the iron to
Yes.
keep us going. Now, with your herpes journey, and the
Mm-hmm.
whole point of this live is, slaying societal stigma. I see your lives, I see your posts, and you're so strong to come out and, share your story. And every time I see you do that, and I said, wow, that's a powerful woman right there.
Oh,
That's really a
thank you.
powerful being able to, come out because it can be scary. And people always have criticize you or ostracize you for whatever condition you may have. Now, how did when did you decide to like become, to fully say, okay, I'm gonna come out with my story and share with others so that I may uplift them and say, this disease is not me, I'm way beyond that. How did
Yes.
you started that?
So at first, I was always just the friend or the family member that people
Hmm.
came to seek advice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hmm.
And these same family members and friends kept telling me, you need to start making videos. People need to hear what you have to say.
Hmm.
So I did that. And I started this whole self love coaching journey, and herpes was sitting right
Hmm.
here. It was kind of like you're focused on everyone else when you have this group of women who are really suffering with,
Hmm.
something that you're not suffering with. Why not share my story? I was talking to Bambi Thompson. You're familiar
Yeah.
with Bambi,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
I was building my course, and I was really in between helping single mothers or helping women with herpes.
Hmm.
And Bambi says, well, how many things are there out there for single mothers? Like, so many things. And she said, well,
There's a lot of things.
and then she was like, well, what's out there for women with herpes? And I'm like, I can count on my hand things that are out there for women suffering with the stigma. And she said,
Mhm.
well, that's it. That is what you do. And I went for it. So Bambi
Wow,
has a lot to do with why I started
that's
to,
awesome. I didn't know that. Thank you, Bambi. She's
yeah.
not here, but thank you. I see Heather is here, and I think Heather and Bambi are good friends.
Yes,
So
they are. That's how I met Bambi, through Heather.
Bambi equals wisdom. That is true.
Yes. Bam.
Bam. Yeah, that's wow, that's really good. And I of course you probably kind of had little doubts and fears before going into it. Or did you just jump right in? Because it is so it's really a topic that's such a taboo. Sex in general is a taboo. But when
Yes.
you even get to the point, sex is so wonderful, sex is awesome, but then
Hmm.
you think about all the different things that sex comes with.
Yes.
Sometimes there's if you sleep with multiple people, or if you and the energetic impact, physical impact, the mental impact of having sex with someone else. It comes with a lot. And
Sex,
sex is our power. It's what we create. This is how we're here, through the power of sex. And
yes.
so, how did you kind of like feel, jumping into that topic? Because it
I
it, it is takes a lot of courage to do that.
Before I was already I'm not practicing, but I was used to disclosing before I
Mm,
started disclosing on the
mhm,
internet. When
mhm,
you just practice on your family and friends or strangers or people around you, it gets
mhm,
easier and easier and easier. Now, as far as putting my story on the internet, putting my
mhm,
story on social media, at first I was a little bit nervous. I didn't know what type of backlash I was going to get.
mhm.
But the things that make me scared, I usually run towards. Being on this
Yeah,
journey, it makes me
yeah,
run towards my
yeah,
fears now. I know that my fears grow me.
yeah,
My fears level me up. So if I'm scared of it, I'm gonna do it.
yeah, exactly.
So I just went for it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so powerful when you just said that, whenever you have your fears come up, this is where you just run straight to whatever you need to do, because you just never know. And fear comes with faith. In a
Yes.
sense, there's like, fear, I think there's a level of fear where it can be negative, where it just gives you so much anxiety, so much stress, that it can just bring you down. And then there's a level of fear, that there's a fear instilling you, like, oh gosh, I'm gonna do this, and I don't
Yeah.
know what's going to happen, but I'm just going out in faith and do it anyway. That's like if you're starting a business, or if you're deciding to increase your prices on stuff because you fear that maybe nobody's going to buy your products, or
Yeah.
in your case, it's the fear of speaking out about something that happened to you, and then wondering if you're going to get backlash, and then it turns out you get receive so much love about it because you're being
Yes.
genuine. And
Yes.
when you're authentic about anything, it really attracts more people to you. So if she can do that, I can need to come out with my own story too. So I applaud you. I
Well,
really
thank
do.
you. Thank you. Well,
You're such an inspiration.
this is how I like to look at
Yeah.
fear. If
Hmm.
we do something every single day, like I'm scared of this spider my whole entire life, or I'm scared of speaking about this my whole life, nothing is
Yeah,
going to change if I keep doing the same thing.
that's true.
So
That's very
usually
true.
that fear is not even fear, it's just I don't want to be uncomfortable. It's me leaving my
Yeah.
comfort zone. And
Hmm.
so if I start thinking of it, this is just uncomfortable. This is not me being scared of it. It's just me not wanting to be uncomfortable. It makes it easier for me to run towards my fears. If I want to change, I have to do something different in my life.
Hmm.
If I don't want to be haunted by this herpes stigma, I have to come out. If I
Yeah,
keep hiding behind the shadows of the herpes stigma, the stigma is always going to haunt me. The stigma is always going to, impact my life. If I just come out with it and be done with this silly little stigma, then it won't haunt my life anymore. Something different, a
absolutely.
change.
Absolutely. Let's go to the comments because I see a
Okay.
lot of comments coming through. And I just wanna okay, so we have Heather, Bambi equal wisdom. I think I said that earlier. Um we have uh let's see. This Masa giving you love. Hi Masa.
Masa always there with the love.
Masa is next week though, so I can't wait to talk to Masa. So
Yay!
and Heather said yes, that's scary and you did it. Beautiful, yeah, it's inspiring. Twiggy Smalls, that's
Thank
authenticity,
you.
and transparency is inspiring. The growth is in the discomfort, baby. Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. Yes. But
It is.
once you get over the discomfort never comes back.
Uh-huh.
You think
It
about that discomfort always being there, and in the minute you go after it, it's gone. It's
uh-huh.
no longer a discomfort anymore. You did it.
Yeah, that is very true. And a lot of the times this spiritual journey involves a lot of discomfort. It involves stepping out of your comfort box and trying to see, at the same time you're realizing who you are,
Mm-hmm.
but to realize is one thing, but to actualize on it is another thing. Because
Yes.
if we don't actualize on what our soul is pushing us forward to do, even if it scares the hell out of us,
Mm-hmm.
we have to push forward because, it's our mind and our ego sometimes telling us it's just, oh, it's not going to work out. This is going to, it's just going to fall right back in your face. And most of the times it never happens that way. Sometimes it's
Yes.
even greater than what we think is going to happen because, our thoughts are so powerful. We can literally kill ourselves with a thought if we don't pay attention to what we're saying.
Yeah.
And the slaying societal stigmas, so many of us, so many different taboo subjects out there. Talking about herpes is one of them. Talking about, sexual transmitted disease is one of them. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. And
Yes.
and I'm so thankful that you are able to, share your stories with others. Now, is there anything you want to talk, like, for anyone who's holding on to anything right now? Is there anything you want to share with them? Like some message that's coming through you. Like I feel like you want so much to say, but some messages that are coming through you right now that you want to share with anyone that needs to hear
Well, let's talk about
it. Hmm.
stigmas.
Hmm.
Um, Herpes stigma alone, I feel like the herpes stigma is fueled by people with herpes. In 2016, 60% of the world's population ages 0 to 49 had herpes type 1, and
Wow.
20% had herpes type 2. If you put those percentages together, that means 80% of people 0 to 49 years old have herpes in 2016. It is now 2020.
Wow.
If there's a stigma around herpes, it's because people with herpes are the majority. We are not the minority.
Hmm.
So if you have the majority feeling like their life is over, their sex life is over, nobody will want me, herpes this,
Hmm.
herpes that, you can't expect the little 20% of people without herpes to think anything differently about you, to think anything differently about herpes, because they don't have it and they don't know anything about it. And they're looking at a community of people who feel like their life is over.
Yeah.
So I feel like when it comes to talking about sex and talking about protected sex, unprotected sex, having children, different methods of birth control, different methods to protect yourself, I realized that in the Black community, it's more silence than it is in other cultures. In the white race alone, they are
Hmm.
more comfortable with talking to their kids and having the birds and the bees conversation. And for me, everything that I learned about herpes, I didn't learn until after finding out I had herpes.
Mm.
I didn't even know what a dental dam was until after finding.
What that is.
You see
Now,
what I'm saying?
you see, now you're educating us on this. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what is it you mentioned earlier about herpes 1 and herpes 2? What's the difference? Because I've
Okay.
always heard that. What's the difference between the two?
So herpes 1 is usually associated with cold sores and fever blisters.
Okay.
But what people do not know is that you can transmit your cold sore or your fever blisters to somebody's genital area. Now,
Oh.
herpes 2 is usually genital herpes. And the
Mm-hmm.
only difference is it's on a different nerve. So
Mm.
herpes 1 is from your belly button and above. You can get herpes anywhere, on your lips, on your eyes, on your cheek, on
Mm.
your hands.
On your
And
hand? I didn't know that.
yes,
I've
yes.
always thought it was just the cold sores. On your
No,
eyes too?
you on your eyes and your throat and the inside of your mouth. And
Oh.
a lot of people have it, and a lot of people don't know they have it because they brush it off as cold sores, or they say cold sores are not herpes, or they brush it off as fever blisters, or they just don't want to get their little
Yeah.
cold sore swabbed. Now,
Yeah.
HSV2, it's the root nerve. So it's anything below your belly button. So you can get it on your genitals. You can get it on your thighs. You can get it on your butt, on the top of your butt, on your legs, on your
Oh,
feet.
wow.
Yeah.
I
It
didn't know. When you think genitals, you're only thinking about that region, but everything is connected, so it makes sense that it can actually spread along the nerves, like you said.
yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And it's only spread skin on skin
Hmm.
contact, and it's most contagious when there is an open sore or
Hmm.
any prodrome symptoms. That's when shedding occurs, and
Hmm.
prodrome symptoms is usually people get sharp pains on their legs, or they might feel a tingling
Hmm.
sensation on the site that they normally get outbreaks on.
Hmm.
And that's how they're able to know whether an outbreak is going to happen or not, or they can get it under control before the outbreak happens.
Okay.
So
Now,
go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Those are the difference between HSV1 and HSV2. It's not much of a difference because now it's common for people with HSV1 to spread it down to your genitals as well. So now
Mhm.
HSV1 is showing up below the button as well.
Okay. Wow, everyone, are you listening? Because I just learned a lot in less than 3 minutes. And it's so I mean, we have to stay educated about everything that affects our bodies. Next, and it's so important because we are having sex out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm having sex. You're probably having sex. We're all having sex out there. We should be cautious, not cautious. I would say I don't want to use the word cautious. I want to say we should be knowledgeable about, what can happen when we don't have, protective sex, or even if it's unprotected or protective. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many different ways that we can transfer bodily fluid, even through kiss. I don't know if the kiss aspect of it, also that's a possible way if it's contagious to transfer
Yes.
through. It
It,
is.
it is. If you have an open sore on your
Mm-hmm.
mouth and
Mm-hmm.
you go to kiss somebody else, you can transfer it as well. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. A lot of people don't know that herpes is not included in your STD panel.
Mm.
So you go get your STD or your STI test, and you're expecting you got checked by everything. The doctor tells you you're good. You don't even look at your test results because the doctor told you that you were good. And you go on your
Yeah.
merry way and you tell your partner that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors will not test for herpes unless there is a sore present. And then they'll swab it because that is the most accurate test.
Mm-hmm.
People can have herpes and it's dormant in your body. You can have herpes and never ever experience an outbreak in your life, but can still carry it.
Yes, I've heard that. I've heard that.
So think
Mm-hmm.
about someone with herpes that never had an open sore. So they never went to the doctor to be like, hey, this is going on. Can you swab it? Can you test it? They
Yeah.
don't know that they have herpes.
Wow.
So I tell everybody when it comes to sex, if you're going to let somebody, that's a sacred energy exchange, first of all.
Yeah,
And if you're going to be
absolutely.
intimate with somebody, it is important that you ask to see their test results.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a hard question to ask, but it's a necessary question to ask. And if
Yeah.
you don't know how to read test results, now is the time. This is called healthy sexual communication. I want to see your results. You need to see mine. I want you to request to get a herpes blood test, not just
Mhm.
one of them, but both herpes blood tests. I need you to get tested for that, and I need you to request for an HIV test because that's also not included in your STD and your STI panel as well. You have to
Wow.
ask for that test separately because it's a
Wow.
blood test.
Yeah.
So
Now, yeah, go ahead.
any advice that I have when it comes to a new sexual partner, get
Yeah.
tested, require to see test results, and continue to get tested. You hold each other accountable when you do that.
That's
Oh, we
true.
get tested together every 3 months. Sometimes you can contract herpes and you won't test positive for it until like two weeks to a month out. Same thing with HIV. Sometimes
Wow.
you won't test positive for it to a month out or 3 months out. So every
Mhm.
3 months as a couple, go get tested with each other. Practice
Mhm.
this with each other. Show your loved ones that this is healthy. We need to be doing this. We need to be doing
Yeah.
this for ourselves if we're going to be taking those chances. I mean,
Mhm.
sex can be deadly. So,
It's powerful and it's deadly at the same time
yeah.
if we're not careful, and if we're not, smart about who we, share energies with.
Yes.
We all learned, I've learned the hard way about who I have shared my energy with. over the years. And let me tell you, I have no regrets because if some things didn't happen, we wouldn't be on the journey that we are right now. So some things kind of do need to happen for us to wake up and say, hey, we got to be more careful how we, give our energies to other people. And there are people out there who don't communicate with their partner. They're out there sleeping with different, persons.
Yeah.
And I've encountered that where, I was the only person in the relationship that was monogamous. And then with somebody else in the relationship was just sleeping around. And that scared the hell out of me. But,
Yeah.
of course, I went and got myself tested, with all these, who knows what may have happened. It's so important that, you stay informed about your body because at the end of the day, it's your life and you're the one, everything's temporary, but with you, your soul, your mind, your body, and you got to keep taking care of it. So
Yes.
thank you for sharing that. Now you mentioned earlier Dr. Sebi. I have to bring Dr. Sebi into this
Hmm.
because my mom was the one who told me about Dr. Sebi because
Okay.
she was sick at one point and then she started taking Dr. Sebi's herb. I purchased some of his stuff as well too from Dr. Sebi cellfoods.com. And what are some of, do you know any particular like like I think he sometimes have the packages like the chelation and
Yes.
things to like detox your body and whatnot.
Hmm.
What are some of the things that you've tried with Dr. Sebi?
I haven't tried
You
anything.
haven't tried anything. Okay.
I'm trying to get my diet where it needs to be to even
Okay.
try anything that he has to
Yeah.
offer. I'm trying to
Mhm.
alkalize my body first and
Yeah.
make veganism something that's prominent in my life. Healthy veganism at that.
Healthy.
I need
Yeah.
to get that down first before I venture into his work.
Well, when you do, I would love to have you back and hear your
Yes.
comments on some, because I mean, I've tried some of Dr. Sebi stuff,
Hmm.
Iron Plus and whatnot, and I'm telling you, in 2 or 3 days later, it's like a complete revolution. I don't know
Wow.
what happened. Things are just coming out of you. Let's just say things are coming out of you, and it really works. So when you do get there, you'll see what I'm talking about.
I'll be ready for it. You know, when it comes to herpes, it was really I never thought of it this way in the past,
Yeah.
but it was a blessing for me.
Yes.
It was a blessing because it started my path of self-discovery. It made me want to love myself more. It made me like, what is my worth if I'm feeling that herpes is, just took me down a whole bunch of notches? Then do I have a worth? Or even when it came to learning myself, I got a chance to learn my body, to document my body, my mood, my stress, what I was eating, everything that was going on with my body, because I wanted to learn my triggers. What triggered an outbreak? How can I prevent outbreaks from happening? Or what are my prodrome symptoms? You can't learn all these things about yourself without sitting down, being disciplined, and saying, every day I'm going to record everything in my life.
Yes.
So that's what that did for me. And now I'm having healthy sexual communication. I'm aware.
That's good.
I know how to
Awareness,
protect
powerful thing.
myself.
Yes.
It wasn't all that bad.
Uh-huh.
Um, when you find out, doctors kind of like minimize what it is. They're just kind of like, oh, a lot of people have it, just don't have sex when you have outbreaks, and then they send you off on your merry way. And they do this because this is like the only STD, STI that doesn't hurt you. It's
Yeah.
literally a
Yeah.
sore that may or may not pop up. You have chlamydia, gonorrhea, they can ruin your
Syphilis.
reproductive system.
Mm-hmm.
Syphilis can
Mm-hmm.
kill you, HIV
Mm-hmm.
can kill you, and then you have herpes, which is a
Mm-hmm.
sore that may or may not pop up. So
Mm-hmm.
when from a medical point of view, I know why they kind of push it to the side, or they don't send out the stats for it every year. And that's why the last time we had stats was in 2016, and hopefully we can get something in 2020. But they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a skin condition, you'll be fine. Like,
Yeah. And as a person who is very versed in statistics and also mathematics, sometimes the numbers are skewed and
mhm.
I I would like to tell everyone, yeah, there's a reason why statistics are out there, and we should actually follow them and understand that, some things are more common. But remember, the whole point also is slaying the societal stigmas. Are you gonna allow yourself to continue be part of that statistics? Because your diagnosis has happened. That's
Mm-hmm.
it, right? But how are you going to move on from that? How are you going to uplift yourself like Shana did? How are you going to, become more powerful who you are? And, we have to understand that, yes, we are energy in this body, and
Yes.
we have the power to transform our lives with just the power of a thought, with the
Yes.
power of the way we speak to ourselves, the way we love ourselves, the way we understand our self-worth. And we can have the next 1 minute we're down in the gutter, the next minute we're just at the top of the mountain. So
Yes.
just always remember that no matter what you have, it could be any type of medical condition, cancer, anything,
Yes.
anything. We have the power to transform our lives if we believe that we can do that.
Yes.
And baby steps too. Don't rush it. Baby steps. It's
Yes.
all about baby steps.
And this is what I tell the women that I work with. I'm like, we
Yeah.
spend 90% of our lives in our heads.
Yeah.
If we spending that much time in our own heads, why can't we come to ourselves for peace and love,
Mm-hmm.
happiness, encouragement,
Mm-hmm.
empowerment? We should be able to come to ourselves for it. If we have the whole world telling us all these negative things and feeding us all these limiting beliefs, you should be able to depend on yourself to go against that, to give yourself
Absolutely.
something different than what everybody in this world is giving you.
Yeah.
So I start with like week 1 of my workshop. It's all about mindset and switching those limiting beliefs and, bringing awareness to them. Because some people don't even know. They say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. And then they'll talk, I can't do this, I'm scared of this, I don't like this. It's just negativity after negativity after
It is
negativity.
true.
And I'm like, how can you love yourself when you feed those words into your life?
Thank you for saying that. It's very true.
Yeah.
I mean, I just commend you. You're so smart, very intelligent, and
Oh, thank you.
you're just a beacon of light for so many women out there. Whether if you have herpes or not, it doesn't matter. Shana is very powerful, a goddess, as you can see. So,
Thank you.
please share with others about your workshop. What's going on with that?
Well, I have a workshop going on right now, Slay the
Mm-hmm.
Stigma. I have another one going on, that's going to happen in November. Um, First week of the workshop, we're learning about mindset. We're acknowledging our limiting beliefs. We're getting rid of them. We're replacing them. You
Mm-hmm.
get to create your own affirmations. It's more
Awesome.
of just mindset training the first week. The
Mm-hmm.
second week, we go over transferred energy, being self-full, loving what loves us back. And then I teach the women ways that I've tapped back into my own orgasmic energy.
Mm-hmm.
When I found out I had herpes, I had lost connection with my yoni. And
Mm-hmm.
I needed to reconnect with her to feel sexy again, to have the confidence that you guys see on my social media. I had to
Mm-hmm.
reconnect with my yoni. So I teach the women intimate self-care routines, and I teach them how to self-pleasure. Women can have 13 types of orgasms.
Awesome.
We should know how to get all 13 for ourselves. I'm not there yet,
Yeah.
but that is the goal, okay?
Awesome.
Then week 3, we go over facts,
Mhm.
remedies, herbal remedies,
Yeah.
diet, learning how to find out your triggers and your prodrome symptoms, learning how to keep our immune systems high, because that's usually what triggers outbreaks, fever,
Mhm.
blisters, cold sores when our immune
Mhm.
system goes
Mhm.
down. The
And that's why
statistics,
alkaline diet is so important, like you mentioned earlier.
yes.
A lot of us, our bodies are acidic, a lot of mucus on our lungs, in our throat, all in our stomach, and we got to clear that out.
Got to clear it
I
all
mean, a
out.
little bit of mucus is good to fight certain bacteria, but not too much can overpower the cells. So
Yes.
that's good. That's good. Mhm.
Then the last week of the workshop, we go over disclosure.
Mhm.
Um, women, a lot of thing that prevents women from coming out 100%. They feel like they got it all there, but they don't want to come out, is because in the past they had incidents that they didn't disclose.
Mm.
And the guilt and shame is what keeps them from pushing through the threshold. So I teach women how to deal with that guilt and that shame and how to push through. And then afterwards, I teach them my method, how to disclose with confidence.
Uh-huh.
And that's the end of the workshop. That's the last week.
Wow, that sounds powerful. And where is this information on your Instagram page, in your bio, or anywhere?
Yes,
Okay.
Linktree, bio, all my posts, anything you see with Slated Stigma, it has something to do with the course, with the workshop, and everything you see on my page, I teach in my workshop times 10. So
Great.
yes.
So visit Shana's Instagram at Shana Singleton. I hope I said your last name correctly.
You got it, you got it, you got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Latest Signal workshop. That's super powerful, and I'm sure these women are getting, uh, so much wisdom, nuggets of, knowledge from Shana and her experiences, because you're just such a beacon of inspiration to
Oh,
all.
thank
So
you.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing your story. And we're gonna end it live today,
Okay.
and so. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so much, Shana, for taking your time out.
Thank you
And
so much for
you know,
having me.
yeah, continue to be, you. Could just
Yes.
continue to be you, and that's all it is.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Peace, love, and light. Let me
Yeah,
exit so that you can.
sure. Not a
Okay.
problem. Thank you, everyone. Oh my gosh, that was so powerful. Thank you all who were involved in the chats. Thank you, Heather, Masa, Twiggy, um, all the other people who were commenting. I so appreciate all of you. And Shana, thank you so much for joining in, sharing your story, sharing your inspiration. That was so empowering. And, it makes me even want to do more to kind of reconnect with my yoni and ensure that my sexual life is also running well, because it's so important to take care of our bodies, especially as women. And it doesn't matter what race you are, what religion you are. It's so important that, because sex is powerful, sex is energy. And, if we have to understand that there are consequences to having sex, being human, which you might not understand, but it's just part of the reality of what we live in. So thank you so much, Shana, for sharing your story, about with herpes and whatnot. So join us next week. We'll be talking with Chantel Mitchell. I said Masa, but it's not Masa. Masa is actually the following week, but it's Chantel Mitchell. She's a early childhood education teacher and also a global entrepreneur, and she's gonna share her story about how she helps. She has you know uh organization in South Africa where she helped kids create and maximize their potential. So I'm so happy. I can't wait to have her on the show. And I've been donating for the past 3 years or 2 years since I've worked with her. So it's just such a powerful thing to be helping kids maximize their potential and whatnot. So take care, everyone. Have a beautiful, 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 beautiful Sunday. And just remember to take care of yourself. Love y'all.